Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here. I'm going to be showing you guys the Protoss now in Heart of the Swarm in this custom game. Once again, if you guys want to check this game out, all you have to do is go to the search bar on Battle.net and type in HOTS, which stands, of course, for the acronym Heart of the Swarm, and then you guys will be able to join either Metalopolis, Curse Plateau, Tal'Darim Altar, and one more. I don't exactly remember who. Credit to the map maker here. I believe his name is Xenox, something like that. You guys can see credits to him in the beginning of this video, the very first couple of seconds. Anyways, here's the first abilities you get for the Protoss. Arc Shield, which is essentially this ability that allows you to throw a photon cannon-ish. It's like a cannon that does 20 damage to light and 5 damage to everything else on any friendly structure you want. The second ability that you guys see there on the Nexus is Recall. Now the mothership is out of the game. They decided to take Recall and give it to a Nexus for 75 energy. And so now you can basically, I think what they said at the BlizzCon panels, the reason why they added in the Arc Shield. Oh, I'm playing against the same guy. I didn't realize that. The reason why they added in the Arc Shield, at least this is my reasoning. I don't know if they actually mentioned this at the panels, but Blizzard felt like, and I felt like, Protoss needed a defensive mechanic. They needed more opportunities to be a defensive kind of player, because especially in Protoss versus Protoss, too offensively oriented. The warp gate mechanic, too offensively oriented. Games were always one base versus one base, so this is going to help Protoss a little bit more at being defensive. That's the Arc Shield. Like I said before, it allows you to throw a cannon. Mothership Recall also allows Protoss to be aggressive against Terrans and Zerg in the mid to late game, because before you couldn't really push out, otherwise you could get backstabbed really easily as Protoss, especially once you're already maxed. Now you can kind of recall your whole army back, and I know for sure that's what Blizzard said at their BlizzCon panel. Anyways, getting back to this game, I've heard tell, and I actually used this a little bit at BlizzCon, you can use the Arc Shield on an assimilator that you steal from somebody else's gas. So imagine this: Arc Shield takes 25 energy, steal somebody's gas, as I'm doing right now, and then put Arc Shield on the assimilator, and it will do 2 shots to drones. That's pretty damn good. So that was my strategy here, to go ahead and Arc Shield the assimilator, because I just heard it was destroying fools at BlizzCon when people were actually using. So here I am using the Arc Shield, and unfortunately, apparently it doesn't work in this version. So there are some bugs to be worked out, I guess. I don't know why it's not shooting right now. It should be, but it isn't. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I wasn't too happy about that. I tailored my whole build around stealing this guy's gas and saving 25 energy. Damn it, this could have been another Chrono Boost. It could have been 75 more minerals for a zealot or something. I didn't have to build that assimilator, and I just kind of screwed up. But that's okay. I don't play Protoss ever, so I'm pretty sure my build is far from optimized at this point. I know there's going to be a lot of mistakes here. Okay, so I don't know exactly what I want to do at this point in the game. I definitely know I wanted to test out all the new units and abilities, at least as much as I could. The only problem really with the new units, I feel like, for Protoss in Heart of the Swarm, is a lot of them are caster based. So you're never really going to build that much. You're just going to build, one Oracle, maybe 2 Oracles, a couple of Replicants at most. You're never really going to have like a whole bunch of them, except for, I suppose, the Tempest, which I feel is already kind of situational. You're only going to get the Tempest if your opponent has a bunch of air units. So they're not like a key unit that you would use in battle. Anyways, my opponent did steal my gas as well. Eye for an eye, I guess. So my strategy here, like I said before, I just want to stick to the core essential of the beginning of a StarCraft 2 game. I'm not going to try to change things up too radically. So my plan here was to go for a 3-gate expand. Unfortunately, he stole one of my gases, so now I can't make all the sentries I need to do. So I'm just going to be totally brave, or I guess a little psychotic, and just throw the Nexus down there without that many sentries. And there we go. And of course, the new units for the Protoss race, the Oracle and the Tempest. Let's talk about those guys for a little bit. The Oracle comes out of, I want to say the Stargate. I'm actually pretty sure it comes out of the Stargate, and the Replicant comes out of the Robotics Facility. I would say I'm 90% sure on that. And essentially, the replicant allows you to steal any unit you can on the map. You can actually steal a Zerg drone. You can steal siege tanks. You can steal medevacs. You can steal anything you want, and it actually copies all the abilities on that stolen unit, even if your opponent hasn't researched it. So if you steal something like a Cloak Banshee, or actually if you steal a Banshee that doesn't have Cloak quite yet, or your opponent hasn't researched it, you get it, and you can use Cloak if you want. The other unit, which is the Oracle, it comes out of the Stargate, and it basically is just a harassing unit. It's really good. It can block mineral fields, an entire mineral field. Pretty much puts force fields on them. I'll show it to you guys in a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit more about that unit. I think its most powerful ability is the phase shift ability, though. Now that I've kind of had time to think about it, it essentially targets any structure, like a Roach Warren, a Hydralisk Den, a Spire, any key tech structure building, Templar Archives, and it removes that entire tech tree from the game for 30 seconds or so. So think about the possibilities of that. That's actually really cool. Anyways, sending in 5 Zealots here, I was able to sneak a proxy pylon into the back of my opponent's base here. And, you know, I'm pretty decent at Zerg. I'm not, like, super good or anything, but I know what annoys Zerg really, really well. Especially since my for me at least, my weakest matchup is Protoss as a Zerg player. So I know what is most annoying to me. So I was telling myself, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pretend I'm playing against me and do what I feel is the most annoying thing possible. And, you know, this is typically the time when I would be droning up. You know, I'd be getting like 30, 40 drones right now, and I would not be building any attacking units. So a couple of Zealots to the face is definitely something the doctor did not prescribe. So 4 Zealots right now, 2 sentries, just kind of walking around a little bit and posturing. But I do want to get around to using some of the new units here, which I don't know if I built one yet. There is a robotics facility. There we go. There's the replicant. So the replicant comes out of the robotics facility. I can copy any unit that I want that I can see. I can copy my own unit. I can copy my opponent's unit. I try to put the arc shield on the assimilator right there, and it actually kind of works. So it makes it much more invulnerable to Zerglings, but the crawler still does a lot of damage. Anyways, let's go ahead and use the replicant. So I can go ahead and copy any unit I want, and at this point the only thing I really want to copy, since I'm not very good with Protoss, let's just go ahead and jack a Zerg drone. Why not? So there we go. I click on the drone and boom, I get a drone. And like you guys can tell already, the range is unlimited. I can steal a unit from anywhere I want on the map. So all in all, I would say the little 3-gate pressure was a success. Uh-oh, but my opponent has found my drone. So I was gonna go ninja a hatchery, but now I kind of decided maybe it's best just to build a hatchery back here where it's safe, because that took a lot of effort to you know, go in there and steal that worker. A lot of good men went down for that guy, so I don't want to lose him. And so, yeah, this is essentially what you could do back in StarCraft Brood War. You could steal other people's races with the Dark Archon. Now it's actually more readily available. You don't need a Templar Archives. You go right into the robotics facility. You can steal a worker. I don't know how good it's going to be in a professional setting. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, you know, when you're just fooling around, and people are going to probably, no doubt, use it all the time, assuming it makes it into the, you know, the finished product. But in a high-level setting, I don't know how efficient it'll be to steal a worker. I think it's going to be great for stealing something like a ghost or an infestor and using its spells and abilities at a very high level. Stealing a worker like a drone, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you guys right now. I don't know how I'm going to macro 2 races at once. I mean, it was damn hard enough just doing 1, but doing 2 is pretty difficult. You gotta manage a whole new supply count, you gotta manage drones, you've gotta manage your tech tree, and you've gotta have, like, basically another whole set of hotkeys, because you can't just hotkey nexuses and hatcheries together. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, that's the ultimate strategy here. Am I gonna be able to get this this little Zerg hatchery going? Am I gonna be able to get some tech trees, some roaches and hydras and what I'm more comfortable with coming out? Anyways, out of the Stargate here, I am going to go ahead and make an oracle, because I want to show you guys as many of the new abilities as I can, as many of the new units and how they work. And oh, there you go. So I can actually chrono boost a hatchery. Totally forgot I could do that. That's actually really cool because I guess that makes it so larvae come out faster and queens come out faster. I'm pretty sure it doesn't make larvae make eggs faster. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. You can actually use chrono boost on your own friendly stolen technologies. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get my Zerg ramped up here because I'm much more comfortable with Zerg than I am with Protoss. So I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, what other things can you do with the Oracle that would be, excuse me, the Replicant that would be really cool? I know you can still siege tanks and kind of copy their abilities. And you know, out-siege your opponent. I guess you could steal, like, I don't know, in the heat of battle, you could steal like a queen and transfuse something. Like a zealot. Probably not very effective. Anyways, here's the Oracle. Here's its third ability, the Entomb ability, which allows you to lock down an entire mineral field. Unfortunately, I'm not even going to be able to show you guys very well because there's an attack going on right now on my front door. Warping in a whole bunch of stalkers so I can fend this off. And I think I'm going to be able to fend it off pretty well. Damn, force fields are good. So anyways, that's the Entomb ability. It creates like a mini force field on each mineral field, and your opponent can't mine from it for what I believe to be 30 seconds. Until he breaks that mineral field. Until he breaks every mineral field individually. So it's actually really annoying. It's really good. Very cheap way to harass an enemy. I think Blizzard's philosophy behind that was harassing without actually killing workers. So they're trying to implement something cool. My opponent's now saying I'm not off-racing anymore. That is very true. And hopefully I get a chance to show you guys the Oracle's other abilities. It has Preordain, which allows you to see what a building is building for a minute or so, and everything around the building. And like I said before, it has a phase shift ability, which locks out an enemy's tech tree. So if you hit a spawning pool, no more Zerglings for your opponent for a very long time. Almost as good as killing it. So I am super supply blocked right now. I gotta get those pylons down. And like I said before, this isn't going to be nearly as in-depth as my Zerg one because I'm not as good with Protoss. That's why I'm kind of trying to steal the Zerg back. But a couple of Entombs going down here. I know it's super annoying. My opponent's got to attack every single mineral field to break it. And he's got it. Look, he's only broken one. There is a Preordain ability, I believe. No, it's not. I don't know what I used. Maybe it was phase shift. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get my units back home here because for whatever reason my opponent's actually attacking me. I can't build any more stalkers because he killed off my cybernetics score. Oh man. So I think I'm gonna have enough to hold this off. Oh god, he's got Zerglings inside my base as well. So my opponent's actually a pretty decent Zerg. Or either that or my Protoss is just absolutely terrible. And I never had a chance to get my Zerg units out, so I'm trying to get some roaches or something out right now, and my main is just getting destroyed by these Zerglings. But I thought this was pretty cool because all in all, I did get to steal an enemy race. I totally jacked his tech tree. I just never really got to utilize it now that I'm looking back at this. I didn't get to make any roaches. I think I made a few. Didn't really get to, use the technology steal to my fullest advantage. And there's still Zerglings running around my base. So at this point I'm just in full scramble mode. Actually, looking at the minimap, my opponent was actually pretty damn good. 20 minutes in and he's got every single base already. I mean, that's pretty solid for a Zerg. I mean, that's pretty damn good macro. So he's just overwhelming me with roaches right now. I was a little surprised, Playing this custom game, you'd expect most people to try out the new units and stuff. You don't expect them to just try to outright kill you. My opponent tried to outright kill me, so I did get caught off guard a little bit. I was expecting to deal with some swarm hosts, some vipers, some burrowed banelings that are under my ground. I didn't get to see any of that from this guy, but right now I'm just trying to keep my butt alive. I'm trying to hold off my third. I'm trying to keep these Zerglings away from my main. And I think it's time to show you guys the phase shift ability, because I haven't actually gotten to use it yet. Once again, like I said, it removes a structure from the game, and all related tech tree units from that structure cannot be built. Okay, so my opponent did make some swarm hosts. There we go. Now, at this point, this is where you're going to see how powerful swarm hosts really are. I think they're better against Terran. I don't think they're as good against Protoss because you can blink on top. But they're still pretty good. I mean, look at how fast that Stalker's going down. That's no joke. So, my Stalkers are pretty screwed right now. This is pretty much my last desperation attempt. I think I'm out of this game. And you guys can see the Swarm Hosts are actually pretty beefy when you're trying to kill them off. I mean, they're pretty big units. Yes, my base is under attack. Everything's going down right now. And there's Burrow Charge. So, okay, my opponent is using a whole bunch of cool stuff. Burrow Charge from the Ultralisks, Swarm Hosts. He's doing pretty good work on me at this point, and I think I'm pretty much out of the game. Yeah, he was able to get into finally attacking my new Zerg expansion. So, well done right there from Kraz. 1-1 so far in the series. And I think that's going to be my Protoss video. The only thing I didn't really get to show you guys was the Tempest, unfortunately. And, you know, it's not a unit you're going to really make unless you're dealing with, you know, mass air. They do have a ground attack, but it's not really that good. My opponent's saying the Oracle seems bad. So I think this is when I realized I haven't really used the phase shift yet, and this is a good opportunity to go ahead and show him just how powerful the Oracle really is. It doesn't really make much sense at this point because I'm already so far behind and I'm pretty much out of the game, but whatever. There's a Quicken Tomb. He has a bunch of Vipers coming out, a bunch of Burrow charging Ultralisks on the way. But I'm going to get my phase shift in there before this day is said and done. And so there it is. There is phase shift. So it lasts about 30 seconds. Removes it from the game, and my opponent cannot make Hydralisks anymore. And I think you can use this. I know, you know, you can only use it on tech tree buildings like Hydralisk Den and all that good stuff. So there it is. There's a GG for me. My opponent beats me. 2 victories for the Zerg, I guess, in my Heart of the Swarm videos, but it is Heart of the Swarm. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Obviously, I'm not that great with Protoss, but I hope you guys get a clearer picture as to how, you know, how the new abilities and how the new spells can kind of work with Protoss. Obviously, Replicant isn't going to be used in that way all the time, where you just steal an opponent's race. It's going to be more used towards, you know, professionally stealing certain key units out of the game and using their abilities. But that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have a Terran one coming out after this, and I'll see you guys then. HD, signing out.